Hello YouTube and good evening. Well, I got myself a new bike today. This is my brand new Trek hybrid bike, the 7.2. I just bought this myself today, and you know, I did my first ride on it today. I rode probably around a little over 40 miles. I got this up in Troy, and I rode up to Piqua, then Piqua on back into Dayton. I'm barely just north of Dayton right now as I'm doing this video, and I just made a video on this bridge right here. So I'm going to talk about this bike a little bit. I mean, I don't claim to be a bike expert or anything, so I decided to go with something bike wise, although I'm still going to keep my other mountain bike. But this right here, these thinner tires are just make a difference night and day for when you're actually riding, because those big fat tires on the mountain bike, some people make the mistake of trying to ride those over long distances. There's a difference. You want to ride something like this or a good road bike over a longer distance, because it's a real bear. And you know, I was able to cover the distance from Piqua down here, which is around 25 to 30 miles. I'm going to say closer to 25 in around 2 hours, just right at 2 hours. So, and on my old bike, I could have I would still be riding. It would take over 3, and it makes a big difference having, you know, the right setup and good tires. So this Trek, I paid $425 for it. This was a closeout model. The guy that was selling at the Troy Family Bike Shop, I would recommend visiting his bike shop. He doesn't have the greatest selection, by the way, but he will work with you, and he will get you something that's fair. So anyway, this is the Trek 7.2 FX. I tested this bike out about 3 times before I left the shop. Today, and I tested this bike out in the 7.3 FX about 3 times before I left the shop today. And ultimately, the reason why I chose this bike is because the frame is much lighter on this than it was on the 7.3, and it just felt better, and it just glided better. I mean, you can ride this thing at a really comfortable pace. When I got on it, when I went from Troy to Piqua, I was able to knock that out, which was close to 10 miles in about 35 minutes. So I paid $425 for this, and generally the models, even the 2016 models, they average about $460 a price. So this was a previous year's model, which I got for $425. So it's a pretty good deal. And I definitely, the black is a good color too. I mean, I am not really specific about the color I'm not really concerned about the color per se, because I think black is a good color, although this is not what you would call a really high-end bike. I mean, it's a decent hybrid bike. Just put it to this that way, but it's not what you would call a real high-end bike. But for $400, for a little over $400, it'll definitely get you where you need to go for a good 30 or 40 miles, and it's durable and it's reliable. From what I've seen, it seems like a great bike. When I bought it, there's some of the tires, 700 by 35 Bontrager hard case light HT, so you can see some of the features on it. Excuse me there, but you see some of the features on it. It's a really good solid bike. You can see a little bit of dirt, because I was when I was going through Piqua, it was raining there, so I got a little bit of specks on it, but nothing that I'm too worried about. I'm also going to get a bike light for this too, so I can make longer distance trips at night. And when I get that bike light, I'll also do a review. And also when I you know, have a chance to ride it more. But this is my initial first thoughts on it. Again, I don't claim to be a bike expert. I'm just sharing my thoughts. I think for $450 or whatever this retails for, I think if you want a good bike that's without overpaying, without paying, you know, a big arm and a leg, not getting a Walmart or a Target or a Kmart bike, I think this Trek 7.2 FX is definitely worth the look. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one, YouTube. I got to be getting on out of here and finish going on home because there ain't much daylight left. But the area that I'm on right now, I'm not out in the middle of Timbuktu, so I'm not worried about it.